Hi friends. Welcome to SPJK Technosoft, your one-stop training platform. In this video we are going to explain how to crack any job interview. Following are the top questions being asked which are covered in this video. Tell me about yourself, what are your strengths and weakness? Why should we hire you? Do you have any questions for us? This video will introduce the STAR methodology for job interviews. What is STAR methodology? S stands for situation. T stands for task. A stands for action. R stands for result. This STAR method will help you prepare clear and concise responses using real-life examples. You can crack any interview irrespective of the domain and technologies. To get more updates on the tips and tricks in cracking various domain job interviews, stay tuned and subscribe to our channel to get latest videos. Happy learning, viewers.
Hello everyone, welcome to our channel SPJK Technosoft. Today we are going to see how you can crack any kind of interviews, irrespective of any domains or technology with these. So the tips and tricks which I am going to share with you, if you just concentrate on that and diligently follow that in any interviews you face, you will definitely get benefited. So before we go into the details of it, let me introduce myself. Yashraj. I have over 20 years of experience in IT, which with big giants like Accenture, CSC and other big companies, and I worked for different clients including P&G, DBS, Royal Bank of Scotland, BofA, then PepsiCo. So these were some of the clients for which I have worked during my 20 years tenure. So whatever experience I gained during that process or during interviewing different candidates as well as attending different types of interviews, I was helped to groom a lot of people. I was able to help a lot of candidates to go through their interviews with ease by boosting their confidence and giving them some tips and tricks which they could easily implement in their interviews, and they got selected in the interview process. So let us move ahead and see what is there. So how to prepare for the interview? This is the most important thing. So this whatever the contents I'm going to show you, what are the tips I'm going to share with you, kindly make sure that you get prepared beforehand, before you go for the interview, maybe say a couple of days before itself, so that you are in a good position. So go through your resume properly. This is one of the most important aspects. A lot of people think that they know everything which is there in the resume, but just believe me, because see, we work in this kind of technology or era where we play multiple roles and we might have multiple profiles, right? So it would be difficult for us to keep track of each and everything. You might have done a lot of things in your career. Maybe suppose you are an experienced guy, say maybe having say 10 years or 12 years. So what happens is that you play so many roles that you tend to forget or overlook few of the roles and responsibilities which you have been doing in the past or you have done in the past. So it will be good to go through your resume properly and make sure that you understand each and everything, because the interviewer might ask any questions, anything from your resume, and you should not ponder at that point of time. So this is the first thing you need to do, that go thoroughly with with your resume and make sure that you note down all the important achievements, all the roles and responsibilities properly. Then the company profile. This is very important. So for the role which you have applied, for the organization you have applied, so kindly go through the profile through different social medias like Glassdoor, or maybe you go to the company website and try to understand what is its profile, means in which business basically it is, which domains, what are their achievements, who is the CEO of the company, and those kind of details. And kindly make sure that you take a brief note of that beforehand itself and try to understand and keep on grasping in your mind, so that when you go to the interview you can speak about the company as if you have done thorough research on that beforehand itself. Okay. And so like as I mentioned, it would be good to note down the important points, whatever important points are there. Okay, this organization deals with so many technologies, like say it deals in say Java development, it deals in data science, it deals in big data application analytics. Okay, its clients, maybe they might have different clients in banking domain or a telecom sector or a healthcare sector. So kindly note down those things, those important points which will help you out if you go to the interview and interviewer asks you something about the organization. So you will be prepared for that. Okay. Then this is a general tendency. Okay, and most of the people will definitely agree with me that we keep on thinking while we speak, right? And mostly it happens in the interviews that we are speaking, but we keep on thinking at the background that okay, what I should say, what I should not say, something like that. So what it will do, that it will actually demoralize you and it will confuse you. Okay, and maybe you might know the answer, but the way you are presenting, that might not be in a better approach. So to avoid that, just make sure that if you come across any kind of questions, okay, just give a brief pause, think about what you're going to tell or how you're going to phrase it, and then start. Okay, so that you don't keep on thinking while you're speaking. So this is a general tendency for each, means say maximum people, maybe 80 to 90%. What they do, they basically they keep on thinking while they are speaking, which basically gives a break, or it does not gives a good impression to the interviewer. Okay, so just make sure that before you answer anything, just think that. Okay, then you start speaking, so that it will give you a better approach and a proper communication to the interviewer. Okay, so this is for the last one is for the face-to-face interview. If you have been invited for the interview to any of the organization, just make sure that you reach there at least 15 minutes before the interview at the interview venue. Okay, so that you don't lose upon anything. Okay, so these were the few of the points, and if you carefully go through this whatever the points I have discussed here, okay, and you prepare properly before you go for the interview, it will help you a lot. And basically what it will do, it will boost your confidence, and you will speak without any issues, because you have already done a sort of a dress rehearsal before the interview itself, so a couple of days before itself. So it becomes much easier for you to approach for any kind of interviews and start your interview process. Okay, so moving ahead. So this is one of the common questions. Okay, and most important questions, as well as definitely this question will be asked to each and every individual when you go for the interview. And this is the starting point where you need to make a good impression. If you provide a proper description of tell me about yourself question, okay, so this will be the base for the entire interview. And if you answer this properly, okay, and with good explanation as well as examples, okay, then the entire interview process will be very smooth, and you think that you actually crack the interview, because this is the most important aspect of any of the interviews question. So start with your background about where you brought up. Okay, don't waste much of the time. Just say that okay, myself so and so, and I was born and brought up in so and so city, and then go to the academic details. Okay, so 10th, intermediate, those things are not required. Graduation and above. Okay, and you need not have to mention any kind of percentages or marks. Just say that okay, I have graduated from this college, I have done my PG from this college, so and so. Okay, so that is more than enough, because the interviewer is not at all interested in what kind of marks you have scored, what kind of percentage. So just give a brief of that. Be precise and make sure that you spend very less time on this. but you communicate what is required. Okay, and then professional front, start with the oldest one. Okay, so whatever the oldest one, suppose you have say 10 years of experience, and in your current organization you have been there for say 3 years, so past 7 years, you just provide your roles and responsibilities and the most uh, deserved achievements. Okay, you don't have to tell each and every roles and responsibility, the achievements which you have basically achieved there in the organization, in the past organization. So only the key achievements and roles and responsibilities. Okay, so spend, I would say, total up to 3 minutes, not more than that, but be precise, be clear, and mostly you need to spend in the current role, because okay, so because the interviewer will be mostly interested in what you're doing now, because it's a current role, and now you are going to move to the next organization if everything goes well and you're selected, right? So align the current roles and responsibilities to the profile you are being interviewed. That is most important. Okay, just make sure that whatever you talk, whatever you say, whatever you mention, whatever the achievements are there, okay, so just make sure that those basically get aligned to the profile for which you are being interviewed. So that will give the interviewer the good impression. So moving on to the, so always use the STAR method. Okay, so STAR method is basically STAR stands for situation, S for situation, T for task, A for action, and result. Okay, so whenever there is any kind of situational questions, or maybe there are some questions which comes to you from the technical front or a generic front, just try to fit that into a STAR model. It will give a very good explanation as well as a good impression to the interviewer. Okay, so like say suppose a client came to you suddenly and say that okay, there are certain requirements which needs to be changed, okay, or which requires some sort of a modification or some new requirements. This is a sudden thing which has come up. Okay, this is a situation that has client has come to you for changing the requirements or adding the requirement. Okay, but you have already planned that, and then you're working according to the plan. So your first task is to just to make sure that that needs to be incorporated, right? The situation is that client has come to you and this needs to be incorporated. The task is that the requirement changes or the new requirements needs to be implemented. So the action could be like that: you go to your team and you talk to them very politely, make them understand the situation. Okay, saying that okay, the client is asking for some requirement changes and we need to incorporate that. So we need to dedicate few extra hours in the office and make sure that these things gets completed. This could be some of the actions, and the result could be that you are able to still deliver the end product within the stipulated time, whatever you have estimated. So like that, for each and every question you get, if you are able to justify that by framing that into a STAR model, okay, that will be really helpful, and it gives a very good impression. It gives a very good characteristics about yourself and your attitude, that okay, the way you formulate any kind of situation and the way you present it, so it totally impresses the interviewer. So make sure that whenever you are presented with any kind of questions, so most of the questions try to fit in the STAR model. At least if something cannot be fit, just to see that few of the things you provide in detail which could be justified framing into the STAR models. Okay, so like as I mentioned, always try to answer your question using the STAR methodology, so it will give a very good impression to the interviewer. Then technical questions again. So whenever any question is asked from technical front, okay, so because you might go for different people might go for different positions. Some might go for the Java related jobs, someone might go for the big data related jobs or data science. Okay, so technically you need to, because that's your expertise area, so you will be in a better position to know. But just make sure that whenever any kind of technical questions are being asked, the interviewer is not only interested in your technical skills. Okay, I might be very good in programming in Java or say Python or any kind of languages. Okay, but the interviewer wants to understand that how you're going to apply this technical skills, okay, or what kind of abilities you have, or how you have been implemented these kind of technical skills in your past work. So always relate your technical skills to the past work you have done it. Okay, so suppose someone asks, okay, I'm just giving an example, like okay, tell me about the data analytics. Have you ever done data analytics in big data? So just provide an answer which relates that, okay, you have a total technical skills. So using, say, suppose you use any kind of visualization tools like Tableau or Informatica or any other Power BI. So just formulate something which you have done in your past work, okay, or the past project, and give that example. Okay, in this project I needed to do this kind of analytics. The data was coming from different sources. So first I have done ETL, extracted, transformed and loaded into a data warehouse, and then from there basically whatever the business requirement or the client requirement or the organization requirements were there, as per those use cases we have used Tableau tool or a XYZ tool, and then we have prepared different types of reports and dashboards which help the organizations as well as clients to take a proper decision. Okay, so and both in preventive measures as well as to understand where the business is going good, where the business is going bad. Okay, so it helped immensely to all the stakeholders. So like this you can frame and you can mention that, okay, how your technical skills, ability, and what were the things you have done in the past project which helped the organization or the end clients. Okay, so this is what I discussed. So always rate the answer to your work as how you have used the technology, models, code, and the benefits. What were the benefits of that particular, okay, whether there was a cost saving, there was a client appreciation, something like that. Yeah, and always remember that your answer should show the interview that you fit the role you applied for. So this needs to be kept in mind. Sometimes we forget that, but just make sure that whatever you are answering, you should definitely align that to your the role you have applied for. Okay, then what are your strengths and weaknesses? So believe me, strengths are very easy to mention. Anybody can mention, right? Like I am a team player, focused, proactive, diligent, blah blah blah. So a lot of things you can mention for strengths, but again just make sure that you are always focused whenever you are demonstrating the strengths. Okay, example from work front, okay, which will give confidence to the interview. Like, okay, I am a team player, I am focused, so I am proactive. So what happens is that I am able to complete the work on time or before schedule, and I manage the team efficiently, due to which client was very happy, or something like that. Okay, so these things you can always mention while you are mentioning your strengths, but just make sure that again you align that to the work front or the projects you have accomplished or the situations you have handled, where the client understand or the interview understand that, okay, so any kind of situation, he's a focused and team player, he is always proactive, and he forces the situations. Okay, anything coming ahead of ahead, he tries to understand and make sure that he prepares a proper plan for that. So that impression should go to the interviewer. Okay, so this is strength. Strength is very easy, right? As I said, weakness. So just be aware that a lot of people might think that, okay, they don't have any weaknesses, okay, or they don't like to mention any weakness to the interviewer. That's wrong. Never say that you don't have a weakness, because nobody in this world is a perfectionist, right? Because we are not perfect. We will definitely have some weakness. We keep on working on that. We improve upon that, and then again we will have some other weakness. Again we will work on that, because that's how the entire life goes, right? We keep on working into our weaknesses, and we convert them to the strengths. So just never mention that you don't have any kind of weakness, okay? And But just make sure that you don't mention a weakness, okay, which will give a bad impression to the client. Just giving an example. Always mention a weakness in a positive manner. Okay, so you should always mention a weakness in a positive manner. Just keep this in mind. Okay, so like I can't say no to work assignment. This is just an example. Okay, so suppose there could be one of the weakness of a candidate or a person who cannot say no to any kind of work or assignments. And sometimes what happens that we get overloaded. We take all the tasks. We don't want any other people to do it because we are a bit shy of giving any work to them, or we feel that okay, they will be able to do it or not, or they will be willing to do it or not. So you don't assign to other team members, and what you do, you get overloaded. So kindly mention this, and also mention that although you have never missed any kind of deadlines, but your personal life and work life gets hampered because you need to work extra hours, maybe in the weekends also. But just add this, but now I am learning to overcome this by delegating work to my team members. So this is a positive note, right? So nothing wrong in that. You're taking a lot of work, you're getting overloaded. Okay, the client will understand, okay, he's getting overloaded, and because of that, his work-life balance get hampered, but he will be impressed that you have never missed any kind of deadlines. And he will also be impressed that, okay, so you are trying to understand how you can overcome this weakness, and you are basically dedicating the work to your team members, and maybe you are monitoring how the team members doing in a regular interval, so that the works get completed in a timely manner, as well as you are also not overloaded. So something like this. So whenever you mention a weakness, just make sure that you should mention a weakness in a positive manner, which the client will take it in a positive note, and he will be having a good impression on you. Okay, so this is very important. One more thing, strengths and weaknesses should be aligned to the current profile you are applying for. Just make sure that all the strengths and weakness should be aligned to the current profile you are applying for. And the most important thing, the last point, if you see it, okay, never mention any weakness which is a part of your roles and responsibility in the profile you applied for. For example, suppose they said, okay, we need a strong coding skills in Java, or they say that he should have a strong communication skills. And if you say the weakness that, okay, sometimes while I speak, I am not so much confident. So this will give a very wrong impression that you are not a good communicator, and definitely you won't be get selected. Okay, so just make sure that you align your strengths and weakness accordingly, and you never mention any weakness which is a part of your roles and responsibilities in the profile you applied for. Okay, it will give a very wrong impression to the interviewer. Okay, then why should we hire you? Okay, so please always demonstrate your answer very clearly, like I have certain skill sets which is required for this role. I have a proven track record of delivering all the deliverables on time, and I got client appreciation for on-time delivery. Also, I have been delivering the projects before deadlines by managing the resources and deliverables efficiently. So again, this is one of the examples I have provided. Okay, but just make sure that you frame something like this, because and that again should be aligned to the profile for which you are applying, and the client should be very much interested in that. Okay, because see, when you say that, okay, I have all the skill sets, okay, required for the current role, this means you are saying that, okay, I have already proven this, I have a proven track record in my earlier organization, earlier projects, that I have been delivering this, I have been doing this role since so many years, and I was able to complete everything on time. So I am a good fit for this role. So answer should be like this, which is aligned to the profile, as well as which justifies your current role for which you have applied, and the achievements you have in the previous organization or the previous project, which is again aligned to the current profile or upcoming profile for which you have applied it. So just frame that accordingly. Okay. So And the last one, which is, do you have any questions for us? It is very, very important question, because whenever you get a chance, you should ask the question, but don't ask any kind of silly questions. You should ask again the questions which the interviewer will think that, okay, you will be a long-term employee for that particular organization, okay, and you would like to have a long-term relationship with the organization. So ask those type of questions. So the questions should be like this, okay. So as I mentioned, this is a very important question, you should never miss. Okay, again, ask the questions related to the job you are going to do, right? Because that is why they are hiring you, or they want to hire you. If you ask some different questions, so they might not be impressed by you. So, like, what are the expectations from you, and how they want you to see in the next 5 years? This could be one of the questions, because then that will give them the impression that, okay, you are ready to work with them for the long term and you want to maintain a long term relationship. So it will be a very good question to be asked to the interviewer. Then again, you can also ask them, what are the organization future goals? So you because you are new to the organization, you don't know much about the organization, but you can ask that. So they will think that, okay, yeah, because you are asking this kind of questions, you will be more inclined to the organization goals, and you will be dedicated, and you will be diligent, and you will be proactively performing all your duties to achieve the organization end goals. Okay, so the questions should be like this, which will impress the interviewer and which should be related to your job profile or the company's future prospects, where you can provide a value add. Okay, so these are the basic tips and tricks, and if anybody follows this diligently, because I have already seen, and I have coached, trained a lot of people before they went to the interview, who had a who were not very comfortable, not very confident going to the interviews, but after my coaching and after they follow my tips and tricks, most of the people have been easily attending the interviews, and they are easily getting the jobs also. So the most important things, most of important tips and tricks which I have shared, if anyone diligently follows, definitely it will help them to crack any kind of interviews. So this was about interview, any kind of interview process, how to crack that. Okay, so if you follow this diligently, definitely you are going to crack the job. So thank you very much for your valuable time. So please subscribe to our channel SPJK Technosoft for further updates as well as new videos. Have a nice time. Bye.
Thank you viewers for your time. I hope you have gained some knowledge from this video. Don't forget to subscribe our channel and press the bell icon to get latest trending technology videos. For any further queries, please reach us at info@spjktechnosoft.com. Please like, share and subscribe our channel. Thank you and goodbye.